Hello, in this video I'm going to be showing off the setup for MMM Early. This is the setup for the earlier frame. If you haven't watched it, you should watch the Clips Basics tutorial that's linked in the description. Basically, it'll just tell you everything you need to know in depth about what's going on. So once you watch that, then you'll understand what's going on here. So anyways, we're going to come here into our consistent position. Right here, enter here without Talon Trot, and you're going to break the gate first. Up like around there, whatever. Break the gate, then either void out or leave the loading zone and come back. Then enter here without Talon Trot. Now once this Jiggy fade out goes away, then get into Talon Trot and hold up while you're going into Talon Trot. Hold straight up. And then you're gonna just keep going forward. Now you're gonna pause after on a certain frame. There's gonna be an audio cue and a visual cue. So the visual cue is to look at this black dot right over here. This black dot over here. Once this black dot is at the bottom of the screen, that's when you can pause. That's the visual cue. The audio cue is to use Kazooie's clucks. So if you hear Kazooie's walking, making clucking noises, right after the slide, you're going to start counting intervals of 10. Just count up to 10 clucks, then reset to 1, go back to 10. Just if you count to 10, then go back to 1, it just makes it easier. Anyways, after the fourth interval of 10, you're gonna count up to 8 clucks, and then right after the 7th cluck, or like right on the 8th cluck, that's when you pause. That's the audio cue. Alright, so right there. So this is the frame if you got the earlier frame setup, and this is the faster frame by about 10 seconds. So if you got this frame, you can tell by looking at these Jinjos. Right under the Jinjo's chin, you should be able to see just a sliver of the stairs. And if you see that, then that means you got the pause. Alright, so then once you got the pause, unpause, let go of all your inputs. Now the next step is going to be to backflip straight to the left. And to do that, you're going to have to wait for the camera to fully set. So right there. After Banjo looks to his right fully, then his left fully, then straight forward, that's the earliest you can backflip. Right now is about the earliest you can backflip. Right, there's the inputs for this frame. I mean the coordinates. It should match up perfectly on EverDrive. On emulator, if you're doing it in an emulator for whatever reason, the ending might be a tiny bit different, but it doesn't matter. So anyways, you're going to do a backflip. So I'm just going to make a save file here. You're going to hold Z, press A, then right after you press A, hold straight left. Then mash C up to get into first person. Alternatively, you can just do the easier way, where you press A, then start right after. Now hold left during the pause screen, then unpause. And now while you're landing, you're going to mash C up. Mashing C up does two things. In general, it just allows you to stop in a consistent position with ease. And then the other thing for this setup, there's going to be a twirly right away. You're going to start your first twirly whirly right away. So right after you fully enter C up, you're going to just keep holding left. And then you're going to go left for a few frames. I think it's like 3 frames. And then pause just after you move a tiny bit. This is sort of a YOLO pause. A Yolo setup, so there's not really a good cue for this first one, but if you get it, it looks different than if you get it the second and third time, for reasons I explained in the Clips Basics tutorial. So if you get the Yolo pause, this is what it looks like. You should be able to see this egg. This post should be just in the center of this egg, and if that's the case, that means you got the Yolo pause. That means that the angle is right, and then you can let go of all your inputs, unpause, and then do the next step. If not, then I like to go back to the right here. Pause just about there. Don't pause too late. Don't go too far back. If you go too far back and pause while most of the doors on screen, then you might get a lag frame. But also, if you pause too early, then it'll be hard to get the correct pause when you go back. Anyways, we're gonna go back to the left here. And I like to look at this line right here. I like to pause right before this line goes off screen. So you pause right around here when this part goes off screen. But I just like to look at this line right before this goes off screen. That's when I like to pause. And then if you get the pause, this is what it should look like. If you get the pause on the second, third, fourth try, whatever, this is what it should look like. I like to look at the egg again. If it's just like on the right side of this fence post, so it's not on the center, it's not on the left side. If it's on the right side and you can see a bit of the fence post to the left of it, that's how you know you got this pause. If you got the pause, then you can let go of all your inputs, get out of first person. That's the angle. This is the coordinates after the backflip. This is the angle after you get the right pause. This is 284. You can beak barge. The next step is going to be to beak barge. You can beak barge right after you get out of first person. You don't have to wait at all. So we're going to beak barge here. Right there. Right there after the beak barge, when Banjo looks fully to his left, that's when you can get into C up. Because now you're going to do another twirly. You're going to get into C up right there when he looks fully to his right, and then hold straight right. Those are the coordinates after the beak barge. Now you're going to go straight to the right. My visual cue for this is to look at this fence over here. Right after this goes off screen, or like right as it goes off screen, that's when you're going to pause. And I failed it here. That's a frame late. This is a frame early. I think I also got a frame early again. Right here. Okay, so this is the correct frame if you got the pause. So here to confirm, you can just look at all these collectibles. It should be just to the left of the seam, comfortably sitting right here. It should barely be touching this brown part, or not at all. I like to also look at just the brown sliver to the right of the black line. You should be able to see a bit of the brown sliver, but not a lot, not all of it. And yeah, this should be easy to tell. Just look at the collectibles or this brown sliver. It should be right to the left of the seam. If you got that, then unpause. Get out of first person. That's the angle. It's an angle of 197. Those are the coordinates. Now here you're going to do a punch cancel. So for this punch cancel, look at the stairs over here. If you can see right at this line, there's this little line right here, and then there's a little bump up here, and it goes into like a little crack. It's like a little disjointed. So it goes up here, then it goes down here. You're gonna look at that. You're gonna do your punch cancel, and after your punch cancel, it should smoothen out. It should make a straight line just like that. And that's how you can tell if you got the punch cancel. It should be smoothing out right here, and then the bump should be moved to like over here instead. So once you see that little visual effect change, that's how you know you got the punch cancel. And after you got the punch cancel, then get into Talon Trot. That's the coordinates for after the punch cancel. Get into Talon Trot. And now you're going to get into first person. Getting into Talon Trot just changes your angle by 180 degrees. So instead of getting into first person and looking at the door, which can cause a lag frame, we're going to get into Talon Trot and look somewhere else that's not as laggy, so we can get the correct angle. So get into first person, hold straight right. Here, where you can look at for the pause, look at this blue pathway. Right before the start of the blue pathway goes off screen, that's when I like to pause. If you want to be even more specific, I like to look at this little dot right here. This little black spot right here. It's kind of hard to see during runs, so if you're not comfortable with looking at it, then don't. But right when this goes off screen, that's when I like to pause. But if you're not comfortable with seeing that like in the moment, then just pause right before this pathway goes off screen. And that's what this pause looks like. So if you got the pause, then this egg should be sitting comfortably between these two fence posts. Between just two fence posts. The bottom of it shouldn't be touching this at all. The bottom of the egg should be above the top of these two fence posts. It should just basically be sitting comfortably between those two posts. It shouldn't be that hard to see. If you got that, then unpause. That's the angle in Talon Trot, 287. Then once you get out of Talon Trot, the angle is going to change by 180. So it's 107. That's the angle you want. Now you're going to do a punch cancel. The punch cancel, there's no real good visual cue for this punch cancel. So I just look at the background. I like to look at the edge of MMM. You should be able to see it shift a tiny bit if you got the punch cancel. There's nothing as good as the stairs one for like the previous one. But yeah, just try doing a punch cancel. If you saw everything shifted a tiny bit, that's how you know you got the punch cancel. And if that's the case, then get into first person and try again. And go for the next twirly. Those are the coordinates after the punch cancel. Get into first person, hold straight right. This is going to be another YOLO pause because the pause frame is going to be just a couple frames after you enter first person. So yeah, you're gonna buffer straight right here. Pause after pause after a couple of frames. If you get the YOLO pause, if you get the first try pause, this is what the frame should look like. You should be able to see most of, if not all of this gravestone, and there should be a gap between this feather and the side of the screen. Should be a full gap there, and you should be able to see most of that gravestone. If you see that, then unpause, let go of all your inputs, then you can go on to the next step. If you failed that pause, then go to the left again here. Oh yeah, and this the angle. The angle is just 92. Go to the left. To the right again. Now here, it's hard to see, but you want to look at for this line right here. It'll be more apparent on your own TV, but basically there's this cutoff here between the light brown and the dark brown. There's a line that continues down here underneath. I like to look at this line, and right when this line goes off screen, that's when I like to pause while going straight right. It's right there. I failed that pause. There. So this is the pause screen for the second or third try, or fourth or whatever, or so on. So this feather should be much closer to the edge of the screen. It depends on your TV what exactly it'll look like. For my TV, the feather's like right at the side, but yeah, it should generally be very close to the edge of the screen, and you shouldn't be able to see the full gravestone. If you got that pause, then you can unpause, let go of all your inputs. Now you're gonna do 3 punch cancels. And then for the third punch cancel, you want to do a big jump, and then beak bust at the peak of your jump. You can tell if you got the bit clip if Banjo's shadow disappears after the third punch cancels. So you're gonna just try doing 2 short punch cancels. If you're not too sure if you got it or not, it's fine. Just try doing 2 short punch cancels first. And then after the first 2 short punch cancels, just do the rest by spamming big jumps after the bear punch. So if you don't get the punch cancel on the third one, then just try it again. Maybe you missed one of the first 2. Just do big jumps for the third one and onwards. But yeah, here you do the big punch cancel, beak bust at the peak of your jump. If you beak bust too late or too early, you won't get it, because Banjo needs enough air between him and the ground to accelerate downwards to have enough speed. So yeah, you're gonna beak bust. For this bit clip, you can just hold straight forward after or during the beak bust. You want to roll on the ground a tiny bit and then do full jump. If you do a full jump right when you touch the ground after the recoil, then you might surface before the loading zone, which you don't want. So I like to just roll a tiny bit and then jump. And you should make it in there. And yeah, that's the first bit clip setup for MMM early. Hope that was helpful, and I'll see you later for the next one.